All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday live preview. Sorry, it took me a second. GP Glazer, if you're still here, whatever you messaged me, thank you for being here. You rule. Um, couple quick updates on the channel before I get started in the preview. Hit 1,000 subscribers earlier this week, so thank you guys so much. That's really cool. That's like a nice little achievement that I don't know, not many YouTubers get. There's a decent amount, but like I looked up the statistics. It's like under 10% of YouTube channels get to like 1,000 subscribers. So like that's super cool. So that's because of you guys. You guys rule for being out here and watching the videos and doing all that cool stuff and liking and commenting and all that. So super cool. Thank you again. Like I said, you guys all rule. Other quick update should be monetized the first level, so you'll start being able to get like super chats and like memberships. You'll be able to see my merch and the videos coming up probably within like the next week or two, just depending on how long the application process goes through. I hit the 3,000 watch time hours requirement for that, so keep a lookout for that. A good way to support the channel if you would like to, or if you'd like to keep watching for free, then that's cool too. And then the only other thing is I should have like the full YouTube monetization. So unfortunately, you're going to start seeing ads on my videos coming up, you know, soon, hopefully, which sorry, but I would like to get paid for doing this. I enjoy doing it for the fun of it and the love of it, but like, getting some cash in my pocket definitely doesn't hurt either. So with that being said, those are the updates for the channel. I like doing these live streams to interact with you guys because you guys rule and are super cool. If you'd like to be able to interact with me more than through comments, what's up, Jersey Kid? If you would like to interact with me more than just like through these streams and through comments, join the Discord. We got like a couple people in there right now. They're good guys. I like them a lot. I'm in there pretty frequently as well. And also buy some merch. That'd be cool. We got some good stuff in the store. So yeah, those are the announcements for the video. Thank you for being here. If you are here, you guys rule as always. So quick Thursday night recap. We had the Packers versus the Lions, which was a very, very good game. The Lions kind of like dominated in the first half. They went up into the third quarter 17-7. Packers came back in the third quarter, and it was pretty tight throughout the third quarter and the fourth quarter. A little bit of back and forth. Obviously, the play of the game was Man Campbell going for it on that final fourth down to make sure that after they kicked the game-winning field goal, the Packers would have zero time left on the clock to try to go down and score or win it or whatever. So that was pretty sweet. As if you watch my channel for a decent amount of time, you know that I am a big Packer or a big Lions guy, big Dan Campbell guy. Nothing against the Packers. I like them. They're fine. I think Jordan Love is really good. But like, yeah, that was some big time, big nut play by Dan Campbell right there to win that game. So that was pretty cool to watch. And like, yeah, I like how Cam Newton's like he appreciates Dan Campbell's consistency, and like I feel the same way. Dan Campbell lives by going for it on fourth down and doing crazy risky stuff, and he dies by going for it on fourth down doing crazy risky stuff. So, the man has a mentality, he sticks to it. Other than that, yeah, it was a fun game. It was a lot of cool to watch. I thought both teams played pretty well. The Lions pass rush shockingly just like beat up on the Packers offensive line. Jordan Love was under duress the entire game. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the Lions do going forward. They're 12-1. They clinched a playoff spot. The Packers are obviously still a very good, very competitive team, and I think they're going to be fine going forward. But yeah, it was a fun Thursday night game. I had a good time watching that one. All right, and let's jump into the Sunday slate. First up on the game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. The bottom two teams. Yeah, give me your predictions. Let me see them. The bottom two teams in the AFC South, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-10. The Tennessee Titans are 3-9. Trevor Lawrence is officially on IR after what's his name, Alib Al-Shahir, tried to murder him on the field last week. I agree. Mayo God wins 2014. Yeah, give me your guys as I'm going through the games. Give me your guys' predictions. I'm definitely interested to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, I think the Titans win this one. The Jaguars are bad. They're just a real bad team. They were bad with Trevor Lawrence. They're even worse with McCorkle Jones in there. And like, I don't think the Titans aren't good. Like, I mean, they got beat like 42-19 against the Commanders last week, but like, man, their special teams really sold a lot of that game. I don't think Mayo Man is that bad, to Kai Nokel's point. Like, also, if I'm saying that incorrectly, please correct me. I don't think Mayo Man's that bad. He was really bad earlier in the year, but like, he's since stopped doing the memeable things, which to my chagrin, I'm sad about. But like, good for him. Like, he's actually been playing decent football since he came back from injury. The issue with the Titans is they got nothing other than Tony Pollard. Calvin Ridley's not bad, but like, he's not particularly good either. Their offensive line is really bad. They don't have receivers to throw the ball to. Their defense is okay. Seems like a very raw Josh Allen without the mobility. Yeah, the dude's got like an absolute howitzer of an arm. Like, he can throw the ball like 75, 80 yards from his knees. And my thing with Levis is like, I think he is a competitive guy who wants to win. And some of like the meme stuff from like earlier this year, like the pick sixes and the fumbles, like that to me, that was like a guy who really, really wanted to win and really, really wanted to make a play and ended up doing something really stupid. And like, you could work that out. Like Brett Favre, like that was Brett Favre in the first like 5 years of his career. You know what I mean? And like also Brett Favre like the last 5 years of his career. So like, I think the bad stuff with Will Levis can get worked out. Like, he's competitive. Like, he's got physical tools. Like, I agree. He's not kind of like, he doesn't have the mobility of Josh Allen. But yeah, I don't dislike Will. I think he's a good quarterback. He just needs like a decent offensive line and like one really good receiver to throw to. Who's the backup for Trevor Lawrence? Mac Jones, or as I like to call him by his true name, McCorkle Jones. And he, like I was saying, the Jaguars are not good with Trevor Lawrence in there. They are much worse with McCorkle Jones in there. Yeah, the Jaguars are just bad all around. That defense is bad. Their offense is bad. I think the Titans win and cover 3 points pretty easily. I could very well see the Titans doing something. It's mac and cheese versus mayo fight. Hey, the Dolphins have already won 2 Super Bowls, so you can't say they will never win a Super Bowl. Now that you could say they will never win a Super Bowl again, and there's a very real chance that does happen. So don't be mean to me. I'm having a rough season. You can be mean to me. I don't care. I don't really have anything else on this game. I don't think it's a wild take saying the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this season. But yeah, I don't have anything else in this game. This one's going to be a snooze fest. I probably won't put it on one of my TVs unless there's like nothing else going on. Then I might throw it on. But yeah, that's all I got. The Titans win. They probably cover 3 points. And yeah, the Jaguars are bad. Lions versus Bills Super Bowl. Do I agree? I could very well see that happening, but the Bills have to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and like, I don't think the Chiefs are that good. I think they're a very bad 11-1 football team, but they were kind of like this last year where they were just like not great throughout the course of the season and turn on the playoffs. And something about the Chiefs are just in the Bills' heads. Like, I very well think the Bills could beat the Chiefs in the playoffs this year, but until I see it happen, I'm going to assume the Chiefs are going to make it out of the AFC. Chiefs are losing the Lions by 1 point like every other. Yeah. I think Lions Chiefs is probably more likely. Who are the other like contending teams in the AFC? What we got the Steelers, I don't know. I can't see. I don't see the Steelers making it to the Super Bowl. The Texans, no. Chargers, no. Ravens. If Lamar finally shows up in the playoffs, I could see them making it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, a lot of fun, real fun game last Thursday. How's my day lately? Uh, Pretty good. I woke up. I wrote part of the script for tomorrow's video, and I'm gonna change it after I watch football today. And then I played some video games for a little bit, and I've been doing this. So that's pretty much been my day so far. Had some breakfast, not too bad. No complaints. Yeah, Crimson Striker, I agree. Fun game last Thursday. That was like it was hyped up to be one of the best games of the season, and it lived up to being one of the best games of the season. And Dan Campbell went balls to the walls and won, and so that was fun. It was a good time. Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. Next up, opinion on 75% of the NFC contenders being NFC North teams. Refs helped. They weren't good. I agree with you. The refs definitely helped the Chiefs. And yeah, they would have had like 5 more losses if the refs didn't help. But that, like, once again, it's just like the Chiefs just turn it on in the playoffs. They're kind of like what the Patriots did. Like, they are the new Patriots, and it's really annoying. Opinion on 75% of the NFC contenders being NFC North teams. Yeah, the NFC North is incredibly good. I mean, it's like it's going to be the Lions. Most likely, the Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC out of the NFC. I could see other things happening. I mean, anything could happen in the playoffs, but like most likely, it's going to be the Lions. The Bears will never roar. That is correct. Um, and then like the Packers, they're a very good football team. I think Matt LaFleur is a great coach. I like Jordan Love a lot, but they're like a very young, inexperienced team that like I think will get there, but they're not there yet. But like they could just go on a magical run in the playoffs. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Packers. The Vikings, I think are a really good football team. My Kevin O'Connell to me is coach of the year. I don't see how you couldn't do it. The dude knows how to call plays. He designs offenses. He knows how to work with players and motivate players. Like he can run a team and an organization. I cannot speak highly enough about Kevin O'Connell. Yeah. I cannot speak highly enough about how like good of a coach Kevin O'Connell is. I'm a big Kevin O'Connell fan. My issue with the Vikings is Sam Darnold is good, but not great. Like I like Sam Darnold. I think he's a very good quarterback, but like I don't think he's in the same tier as like the Jordan Loves, Jared Goffs, Patrick Mahomes. Like he's not like that quite echelon of quarterback. Um, I do not play Madden. I played the new NCAA game, and I recently got Marvel Rivals, which is basically Overwatch but with Marvel superheroes, and like that's been pretty lit. That's been my life for like the past 2 days. Um, yeah, and my other big issue with the Vikings is like I watched Brian Flores defense in 3 years in Miami, and they show up great against not good offenses, and then they sell big time against good quarterbacks and good offenses. So that's my issue with the Vikings. I could very well see any one of them making it to the Super Bowl. I'm putting my money on the Lions. And then I just think the rest of the NFC is not very good outside of the Eagles. I think the Eagles are really the biggest challenge for the Lions making it to the Super Bowl. Like, still, I think my money goes on the Lions. But like, if you told me like Philadelphia beat the crap out of everybody in the NFC playoffs and made it to the Super Bowl, like that wouldn't surprise me either. Bears versus Chiefs, do you get it? Oh yeah, I get it. And we're gonna we're gonna talk about both the Bears and the Chiefs here in a little bit. But yeah, it's just I've never seen a team fumble the end of the game the way the Bears did, and I never seen a team get bailed out at the end of the game the way the Chiefs do. It's incredible. Bears purposely lost against Lions, or at least it looked like it almost felt like a script. I don't know. I don't think that was on purpose. I think that was just pure incompetence, in my opinion. You guys better beat the Jets. Yeah. 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 That was with Flores. Where there was that Thursday night game where Tua was injured, but really Brian Flores wanted him on the bench because he didn't like him. And then they like ran cover zero a million times against Lamar, and then Tua had like a magical comeback. There's also the game when right guard Robert Hunt like caught a tip pass illegally and then scored a touchdown, but like it didn't count because he wasn't allowed to catch the ball. That was an overall incredible game. That was one of my favorite games to watch as a Dolphins fan. It was great. Um, okay, but yeah, better beat the Jets. I agree. So let's talk about this game for a second. The Dolphins are 6-point favorites. I took these 6 points for them. I think this is just easy money. Easy money for the Dolphins. Tua is 7-0, 6-0 against the Jets or something like that, and like it's at home in Miami. It's warm weather. It's like 79 degrees is like reportedly the game weather, whatever. The Dolphins beat the crap out of the Jets, and I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's changing. Last year they beat them like 34-17 on Black Friday and 30-0 at home. And this is what the Dolphins do. They beat bad football teams. And the Jets are a bad football team. And I think the Dolphins pass rush is going to get after Aaron Rodgers. The Jets offensive line is not good. Breece Hall is out. So it's going to be Braylon Allen who's going to be toting the rock. And yeah, I just like the Jets defense isn't good. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 35-17 Fins win. I think that's a pretty realistic score. I would love for the Dolphins to put up 40 plus points for the first time this season. So I'm going with 42-17. That's going to be my final prediction. But no, I think it's just going to be the Dolphins are going to be able to run the ball well. They're going to be able to throw the ball all over the Jets well. The Jets offense is not going to move against the Dolphins defense. Like I don't think they're going to run the ball or pass the ball. And honestly, like the Dolphins defense didn't play that bad in like the first half against the Packers. Like they had a decent game, but it was just they kind of just broke down and got ran all over because they didn't want to tackle when they called. Tyreek hasn't been amazing since he got arrested. Yeah, I know he's dealing with like a wrist injury and like an ankle injury or something like that. And it's I think also part of it is like defenses just like put like 3 people on Tyreek Hill and they're like, beat us with somebody else, and the Dolphins are like, okay, we'll beat you with Jonnu Smith, Devon Achane, and Jalen Waddle pretty much. So, I mean, he still has 55 catches for 654 yards and 4 touchdowns. That includes 4 games without Tua where, like, the offense couldn't move the ball. So, like, yeah, Tyreek Hill's not having, like, a phenomenal year, but, like, he's been playing well enough. That Washington fumble killed that game, basically. Yeah, it did. What else? I don't think this one's going to be close. We got some injuries. Anthony Walker Jr. got hurt against the Packers. Teron Armstead is always questionable. Cater Kohu has a neck injury. The Dolphins secondary is a little bit depleted. We got a lot of injuries there. But still, the pass rush is going to get after Aaron Rodgers. Jalen Ramsey's still really good. I think Kendall Fuller is coming back, which is huge. I agree about the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble. That was wild. He still won, though. That's all that matters. But no, it's my biggest issue with the Dolphins is their safety. Like, Javon Holland at safety has not been playing well. Jordan Poyer has been an absolute flop of a signing. But, like, I don't think the Jets are really going to challenge the middle of the field. Yeah, Bradley Chubb's still out. I think he could come back, like, next week or the week after from what I've heard. I don't know if he will, though. Is it like really worth it? Like, I mean, if they make a push and like somehow get into the playoffs, if he comes back, I think that'd be great. Bradley Chubb and Chop Robinson on both sides, like, and then mix in Emmanuel Ogba a little bit to like, as a third like breather pass rush, especially with Calais Campbell and Zach Sealer. Like, Dolphins defensive line and edge rushers are phenomenal. Their linebacker play is okay. My issue is their safeties. The Dolphins safeties are bad. but I don't think the Jets are going to challenge the middle of the field or the safeties that much anyway. So like I'm not too worried about in this game. But yeah. Final thoughts. Dolphins 42-17. Like I said, they definitely cover. And yeah, the Jets are bad. The Jets still suck, and they're gonna have another 10-loss season. Next up, we got the Falcons at the Vikings. Speaking of Brian Flores' defense beating up on bad quarterbacks, I think it's going to be another rough game for Kirk Cousins against Minnesota. The Vikings are 6-point favorites. I did not bet them just because I could see crazy things happening and the Falcons keeping it close. No, I am a big Chop Robinson fan. I'm also a Penn State fan, so we had a rough loss last night against Oregon. But I was a fan of him when he was playing at Penn State, and I was super happy when the Dolphins drafted him. And he had a slow start to the season, getting things figured out. Like, he's a rookie. Like, he's going to take a minute to see him get used to it and figure out what's going on. But he's really turned it on. He's been playing phenomenal. So I'm also a big Chop Robinson guy. Vikings win that game 30-27. Yeah, I don't know if the Falcons put up 27 points. I don't know if the Vikings put up 30 points. I mean, the Falcons' defense is bad, but like, man, Kirk Cousins has looked real bad over the past like 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it was. So, like, it really just depends on like which Falcons offense shows up, because sometimes they play incredible and sometimes they look like one of the better offenses in the league. And then sometimes, like last week against the Chargers, they were real bad. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if it was a higher scoring game. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a lower scoring game. This one's just really weird. Like I said, it just depends on which Kirk Cousins shows up. But like, the Falcons have and still do have a ton of talent on offense. I mean, Bijan Robinson's great. I'm a big Drake London guy. I love just a big possession receiver who can also run really well. Darnell Mooney's having a heck of a season. So, like, the Falcons have a lot of good things going for them offensively. You know what I mean? Please let your magic come back today, Kirk. And, like, it might. You never know. It just really depends. But it is at home in Minnesota. The Vikings do play better at home. I think the Vikings win. I don't necessarily think they cover. 6 points seems like a lot, and I believe it was also 6 points on DraftKings, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it just really depends on which Kirk Cousins showed up. No, I don't see them putting up an upset either. Kirk throws a pick, next play, Sam goes old school and throws it right back. I could see that happening too. Yeah, I agree. Like, I do think Brian Flores is just going to blitz the crap out of Kirk Cousins. And, like, the Falcons' offensive line is not very good. In Kirk's defense, he has been under pressure quite a bit. He still made, like, a lot of bad, dumb throws against the Chargers last week. So, yeah, I could very well see this going either way. But I do think the Vikings win. I don't think they cover 6 points. I could see the Vikings blowing them out. Like, it just – I don't know. Yeah, no other thoughts on this game. Justin Jefferson still really good. Aaron Jones, despite his fumbling problem, is still really good. And TJ Hawkinson being back on the Vikings, being healthy again, that's been a huge addition for them. So yeah, I think the Vikings win. I could very well see them blowing them out, but I think it's probably going to be closer. All right, next we got the New Orleans Saints at the New York Giants. The Saints are 4-8. The Giants are 2-10. I have the Saints winning this game. They are 5.5 point favorites on ESPN Bet. They're also 5.5 point favorites on DraftKings. Falcons upset Vikings. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. The Saints are still not a good football team in my opinion. But with Dennis Allen gone and the Rizzler there, they're at least playing hard. Saints are winning that, but by a close score. I agree 100%. With the Rizzler, he's got him playing hard. He's got him playing with like energy and fire, which is like nice because they looked. Yeah, both teams are pretty meh. The Giants are just so bad. I don't think it matters if they put Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock back there. But yeah, I mean, at least like the Saints can score the ball. Yeah, I agree. Somehow, some way, Marquez Valdez-Scantling with Derek Carr has become the greatest deep ball receiver in the NFL. What? What are you guys WTFing about? What I miss? I feel bad for my dad. He's a Giants fan. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's just like I said, without Tommy DeVito or um, the Rizzler. Listen, Anthony Riz, whatever his real name is, that's his nickname for me. He's gonna be known as the Rizzler. But yeah, without either Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock back there, the Giants' offense is so bad. I like Tyrone Tracy Jr. I think he's a good running back. The game will be ugly, but the Saints are objectively better. I agree. I think Malik Neighbors is really good. They just need to throw like a quarterback that can throw on the ball. And like, I don't know if the Giants are going to draft a quarterback this year. The quarterback draft is just not good. Like, I think Drew Aller out of Penn State is probably just like the most talented quarterback in the entire draft. Uh, Cam Ward is pretty good, but like I don't think Cam Ward's game really translates to the NFL. So like I don't know what the Giants are gonna do, but like they have some decent pieces on offense. It's just like everything else is like really it comes down to the quarterback. And I thought the Giants' defense was going to be better, but they are also really bad. I know they got a new defensive coordinator in the offseason, so that's probably what's going on. But yeah, it's Saints win. I think the Giants keep it close. I think they cover the 5.5 point spread, which is why I bet the 5.5 point spread. But yeah, this is going to be an ugly game, similar to the Jaguars Titans game. I probably won't put it on one of my TVs unless something desperately changes. All right, next up we have the Carolina Panthers at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Panthers have officially won more games this year than they did last year with 3 instead of 2, so go Panthers. Tommy DeVito or Baker Mayfield doing the Tommy DeVito celebration was one of the greatest moments of my life. I laughed so hard when I saw that. Yeah, I agree. Drew Lock is a better runner. Like he can make plays with his legs. Um, the Eagles are 10-2. The Eagles are 14-point favorites on ESPN. They are 13.5 point favorites on DraftKings, which is what I use. I took the Eagles to cover. Usually when a team is favored by like that many points, like I find it hard. Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the Eagles are going to blow them out. Like I said, I took them as 13.5 point favorites. Um, Carolina upset would be funny. I don't think that's going to happen though. On the road in Philly, the Eagles have won 8 straight games. Like I like their defense is incredible. Saquon in the run game is incredible. Is Devontae Smith coming back? It looks like he is. He's not on the injury report. So with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith officially back on the field with Saquon Barkley, a phenomenal offensive line. Like the Eagles are going to score like 50 points, and like I still like. Here's my thing with the Panthers is like they are no longer the worst team in football. Like last year and the first half of this year, they were undoubtedly like the worst team in football, and they were just sad. Like they were real sad. And like now I don't think they're quite as sad. Saquon is the best runner in the league. Oh yeah. I agree with you 100%. Saquon's so good, man. Um but yeah, I don't think the Panthers are quite as sad anymore. Like I think they are a competitive team. Especially like offensively, I think their offense is like actually decent. Bryce Young has been playing really well since he came back from the benching. They have a decent offensive line. I like Chuba Hubbard is their running back. They have some decent receiving options. They need like another good. Thank you, Giants. They need like another good receiver outside of Xavier Legette, but like I'm not good to see. So lucky to see that match. They need another good receiver outside of Xavier Legette, but like from an offensive standpoint, Yeah, exactly. And they played the Bucks close last week too. Offensively, I think the Panthers are like good on that side of the ball. The issue with the Panthers is their defense is so bad. They just get rocked by the other team's offense every single week. So like I think the Panthers will put up some points, but I just think from an Eagles offensive standpoint, like Saquon's probably going to have like 250 yards rushing and like another 50 yards receiving and like 3 touchdowns or something like that. Like Jalen Hurts is going to have a good game throwing the ball to AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Like it's the Eagles are going to score like 50 points and the Panthers are probably going to score like 21 to like 28. Yeah, I agree with you. I do think the Lions are probably going to beat the Eagles too in the playoffs, but like the Eagles are still good. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they made a run to the NFC Championship, made a run to the Super Bowl and beat the Lions. I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked. Can I also pray the Panthers manage to pull it off on the Eagles too? Absolutely, you can. I think that one is less likely than the Falcons beating the Vikings, but like, yeah, you could hope, man, and like, it, I just yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But like weird things happen every Sunday. Um, I think in my opinion, the Lions being the Bills, the 49ers, mistyped an excellent click send. Um, good teams at all this year, but Chargers game would be a big test. Yeah, yeah, it's the well, I'll get to it in a little bit, but yeah, we'll talk about the Chiefs Chargers game. Say Eagles 13-24 this game is realistic. I don't. You could be right. I just think like the Panthers defense is so bad. Like it's just like I can't imagine a world where Saquon scores less than like 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? And like that's kind of my thoughts. Like and it's just yeah. I mean, maybe the Panthers defense shows up and bows up this game, but like I mean their scoring defense is horrendous. Like they're giving up almost 31 points per game. That is like so bad, so bad. Um, if you just somehow limit Saquon, what's the Eagles' offense look like anyway? They throw the ball to AJ Brown and Devonta Smith a lot. I think that's what it looks like. Oh, I could totally see the Eagles blocking a kick too, maybe a punt. Yeah, I think the Eagles blow the Panthers out of the water. That's final thoughts on that game. Next up, we got the Browns at Steelers. The Browns are 3-9, coming off that tough Monday night loss against the Broncos last week, where Jameis threw 2 pick sixes. The Steelers are 9-3, coming off a 44-point outing against the what's his name, the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, I think this one is going to be close. Steelers are beating the Steelers, possible blowout. Steelers beating the Browns, possible blowout. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a blowout, but I did take the Browns plus 6.5. This game will be the weird one of the day. Yep, that's 100% my thought too. I don't think the Browns will outright beat the Steelers because Steelers got that voodoo magic. Oh, you never see the Browns versus Dolphins play? They played like 2 or 3 years ago. Actually, they played quite a bit recently. Last time they played was 2022. I think before that it was like 2020 or 2019 or something. They've played a bit in the past couple years. This is like their third time in 5 years or something like that. No more snow for Jameis? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be 52 degrees in Pittsburgh, which is shocking because I live up here in Cleveland and it's cold, and I don't like the fact that it's cold, and it makes me sad. Um, but yeah, I agree with you. Will be the weird one of the day. I don't think the Browns win. I wouldn't be shocked if they win, but like I doubt it. I do think they keep it close enough and they cover the spread of 6.5 points. That's kind of my thoughts. Weird things are going to happen in this one. Weird things happened in the last one. And like if the Browns like somehow some way like pull it off and like won, I wouldn't be surprised either. People got the Broncos defense last week and fantasy got quite lucky. Yeah. Yeah, 2 pick sixes is big for the Broncos defense. Um And like, here's my thing: is I still don't think the Browns are like they're not like a Super Bowl contending team, but like if they played Jameis all year instead of Deshaun Watson, like they would be a borderline playoff team. Like the Browns with Jameis are a good football team. Their offensive line isn't half bad. Their defense is still really good, especially when they don't have to be on. I live in Grand Island, New York. If you know where that is, I don't. Is it close to like New York City? Is it like on Long Island or in Long Island, however you say it? Um, the Browns defense is still really good. Like I said, with Jameis, I think they are like a good competitive playoff team. They just unfortunately dug themselves too much in a hole. Yeah, I thought of Staten Island too. Um, and like I don't know, the Steelers are really good. Like Russell Wilson is looking very very good. George Pickens and the receivers with Mike Williams, like they can run the ball. Their defense is still incredible. They play like really good special teams. The Steelers are a good football team, and I like I like Mike Tomlin. Like I think he's a good coach. No, in Western New York above Buffalo. Gotcha. Yeah, I have not been there. I've only been to Buffalo like once in my life. It's a small ass island. Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Western New York. I'm an Ohio guy for the most part. So, and if I travel, I'm not traveling to Western New York. Nothing personal. There's just other places I'd rather go to. Um, yeah. Let's see. Final thoughts. Steelers win this game. Browns are good, but like Steelers voodoo magic is too strong. Steelers are going to get to 10 wins. My predictions of the Steelers being under 500 for the first time in forever are officially down the tubes, so that makes me sad. Yeah, I've been to Miami like 4 or 5 times. I try to get to like one home game every year. It didn't really work out this year just because I travel a lot for work, and I really haven't had time between doing that, this YouTube channel and stuff. So if I ever get to do this channel full time, I will be going to Miami quite a bit and watching a lot of home games and stuff. So fingers crossed that happens. And yeah, I love going down to Miami. It's so much fun every single time I go. Ah, you were born in Florida. I was not. All right. Next up, we got the Raiders versus the Bucks. It's in Tampa Bay. The Raiders are 2-10. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a fun game. The Bucks are 6-6. Here's my thing with the Raiders. I don't think outside of Brock Bowers, they don't have much going offensively. I think their offensive line is decent. I don't think it's very good. I think their defense is meh. Like Max Crosby and Jack Jones are pretty much the only two things they got going for them defensively. I think Antonio Pierce, like he's kind of like a rah-rah guy. He gets people motivated and they play hard, but that's really it. My big thing with the Raiders is like I know everybody says like they're tanking for Shedeur Sanders or another quarterback, whatever, but like I like Aiden O'Connell in the like Raiders games I've watched with Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. Like, is he like a world beater like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen quarterback? Like, no, like he's not, but he's really, really good. Like he makes plays. He kind of looks like Farva from Super Troopers, but like outside of that, like he doesn't have a whole lot going against him. And like I was about to fall asleep last season, I would see. Fair point. Um, I think Aiden O'Connell is like a decent quarterback, and I like he's in his second year, fourth round pick out of like Purdue or whatever. I think like just give a team around him, like develop him a little bit more. Like I think you have like a solid quarterback in Aiden O'Connell if you're a Raiders fan. Brock Bowers is incredible. I can spend hours talking about how much I love Brock Bowers. I hope Crosby trash talks Baker and then the Raiders lose like he did back against Denver. Honestly, that would be incredible. That would be like that's probably what's going to happen. Like Crosby is going to trash talk Baker, but like Baker is also like a premier trash talker in the NFL. So like they're going to go back and forth the entire game. I hope we get a good hot mic moment where they're going back and forth with one another. And yeah, speaking of the Bucks, like Baker is having an incredible year. I think Bucky Irving is still hurt, which is a real bummer. I don't know if he's going to play in this game, but like they're very, very good rookie running back. Mike Evans is back healthy. Their defense is getting healthier. The Buccaneers are 6-6. They're going to beat the Raiders. The Raiders might keep it competitive and might keep it close, but like I doubt it. Yeah, the Bucs are going to win this one pretty easily. They're going to get to 7-6, and like they're going to win like 2 more games before the end of the year or something like that, and like win the NFC South at 9 wins again. Like that's probably what's going to happen because the NFC South is bad. It's just so bad, man. Like that. I make a lot of jokes on this channel about it being the worst division in football. Think they can take the division against the Falcons despite getting swept? Yeah. Here's my thing with. Let me pull up the Falcons real quick. Come on, ESPN. I think the Bucs win this division easily. Like these are the Falcons' last 5 games. They lost 3 straight. I could see them losing every single one of these games. Like they probably will beat the Raiders, the Giants, and the Panthers. But like if you told me they lost to all those teams, like I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean they got blown out by Denver. They lost to the Saints. Yeah, I think the Bucs and let's look at the Bucs schedule real quick too. I think the Bucs like. They got the Raiders this week. That's a winnable game. They got the Chargers. The Chargers probably win that, but like I mean, it's a winnable game. They probably beat the Cowboys. They probably beat the Panthers again. They probably beat the Saints. Like realistically, the Bucs should finish out the season. These last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, like realistically finish out like 4-1, 3-2, and I think if they win 3 more games. That's going to be enough to beat the division. Like, I don't think the Falcons win 3 more games just based off of how the Falcons have been playing recently, which has been horrendous. And, like, I get it. They played against the Chargers, who have the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. They played against the Broncos, who have a very good defense. But, like, you don't pay Kirk Cousins $120 million to throw 4 interceptions against the Chargers and only score 6 points against the Broncos. You know what I mean? And their defense is still bad. I think the Bucs have a lot more going on for them. They kind of dug themselves in a hole, but like I said, fortunately they're playing in the NFC South, which is a very, very, very winnable division. So yeah, I think the Bucs win this game. I think the Bucs win the NFC South, and like yeah, I would be shocked if the Falcons somehow turned around and became a good football team again. But I don't know. I'm wrong a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised either way. You know what I mean? All right, we're getting to the 4 p.m. slate now. First up, we have the Seahawks. Week 1 for the Falcons said it all, basically. Yeah, I agree. We have the Seahawks who are 7-5, and we have the Cardinals who are 6-6. For like 2 weeks, I was on the Cardinals are winning the NFC West bandwagon. I'm back, and I think the Seahawks win this division. My thing with the Seahawks is their defense is getting significantly better every single week under Mike Macdonald. And like I think Mike Macdonald is a phenomenal coach. Like he is the defensive version of Sean McVay, like young, like hot shot, really smart guy. Coaches and players like respond to him really well. Like high energy dude, like seems like a really smart guy and what he knows what he's doing. And like it's his first year. He's a rookie head coach, so like he's not gonna be perfect. He's not gonna have everything figured out immediately. But the fact that like he is a defensive guy, and the Seahawks defense is getting better week after week tells me a lot. I am not the biggest Geno Smith fan in the world. I've been pretty vocal about that on this channel, but I think Geno Smith is good enough. They have really good receivers in Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba is taking over as the number 1 wide receiver on that offense. That's an offense with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who've been doing this for a long time, who are still really good. And then I just think, honestly, like if you give the Seahawks a decent offensive line with Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, who I know Kenneth Walker is not playing in this game because he's injured, But like you give the Seahawks a decent offensive line, like I think that's a Super Bowl contending team right there. Like their offensive line is real bad. But like that's pretty much the biggest weakness on the team. Everything else they got going for them is going really well. And then on the other side, it's the Cardinals are 6-6. It's at home. It's in Arizona. And like the Cardinals had like a stretch of like 3 weeks of really good football or something like that, and then they just blew it these past 2 weeks when they had a chance to win the division. Yeah, these both of these games were sad. They should have beat the Vikings. They should have beat the Seahawks after a 4-game win streak. And so I think the Cardinals are currently melting down, which, what's up, X Delta? Yeah, the Cardinals are melting down, and it's not looking good. And I think the Seahawks win. I took them +3 to cover. I think they win this game outright. And I think if they win this game, that pretty much seals the division for them. These are 2 back-to-back rough games. But they beat the Cardinals. Let's say they win 1 out of 2 games against the Packers, Vikings, and then beat the Bears and the Rams. Like that should be good enough for the Seahawks to win the division. And I think they will. Like I said, I think they beat the Cardinals this year. Cardinals just really bummed me out. I thought they were like an up-and-coming good team, and then they just dropped those last 2 games. I agree. I'm not a huge fan of the 4:05 games. Like, let me finish watching the 1 p.m. games that kind of go later into the day, and then just start them all at 4:25. That's kind of my thought process. But this will be another NFC West game that I throw on in the background while I cook dinner for the day. So that's going to be what happens here. But Seahawks win. Seahawks cover +3. I would be surprised if the Cardinals won this game, but like I wouldn't be that surprised. But I don't understand how the Cardinals are favored. I think the Seahawks defense just beats up on them pretty well. Next up, we have Buffalo at the Rams. The Bills are 10-2. They have officially clinched the AFC East. What's up? Glad you're back. The Bills have officially clinched the AFC East because the Dolphins sucked without Tua, and the Jets and Patriots are dumpster fires. The Rams are 6-6. I agree with you. I think the Bills beat the Rams by a touchdown. I think they're going to have a slow start to this game. Just with traveling out west, like I could see the Bills like coming out a little bit sluggish offensively and defensively. But yeah, I think they probably win by a touchdown too. I think that's fair. Jumped in late, still trying to figure out how Tampa Bay beat both the Lions and the Eagles and are 6-6. They got injured. The Bucs got real injured through the course of the middle of the season, and yeah, that's how. But like they're getting healthier, and I think the Bucs are going to be better. Maybe 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I could see it going. The Bills are going to win this game. The Bills easily cover 3.5 points. I don't think it's quite a blowout, just because I don't think the Rams are that bad. I mean, the Bills are really good. The Bills are incredible. It makes me sad. It really hurts me to my core, but whatever, it is what it is. I mean, they can run the ball really well with James Cook. Their receivers are well, and Josh Allen's Josh Allen. I don't think the Rams are that bad, though. That's kind of my thought. 14-7 snooze fest? Yeah, me too. Gonna pray the Bucs get healthy enough to knock out the Vikings or Packers in the wild card. That could very well happen. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if that ended up happening. Yeah, it's the Bills are gonna win this game pretty easily. I don't see the Rams. Like, Stafford's still really good. Sean McVay's still a really good coach, but like, yeah, the Bills win this pretty easily, in my opinion. Like I said, I think they're going to come out a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish, just having to go all the way out to LA from Buffalo. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be a particularly competitive game. The Rams' offensive line is real bad. Bucs Eagles playoff rematch would be nice too. That would be a good game. The Rams' offense line is really bad. The Bills have a really good pass rush with AJ Epinesa and what's that other dude's name? Not Von Miller. Their other really good pass rusher. And it'll come to me, but Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, but it's just like, listen, I all right. One, I agree with you. If Stafford can do like magic Stafford things, like make people miss in the pocket and like step up and do that stuff, like I agree. The Rams are probably gonna be better. Why are the Dolphins even an AFC East team? They're more AFC South. I have been on the division realignment, put the Dolphins in the AFC South so they can win that division every single year and make the playoffs every single year. I have been on that bandwagon for a while. I agree with you. It makes no sense why they're in the AFC East. Just flip flop the Colts and the Dolphins, and everything would make so much more sense. Like Indianapolis, Buffalo, New York, and New England, that is the AFC East. That makes sense to me. Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Miami in the AFC South makes a ton of sense to me. I agree with you. It is the right thing to do. I will send letters to the NFL or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the NFC teams in the NFC South. Put the Dolphins in the NFC South too. I'd be fine with that. Like it's any put them in either AFC or NFC South division where they could easily win every single year and not have to get the crap kicked out of them by the Buffalo Bills. I'm fine with that. Um, yeah, sorry, tangent. Back to this game. Yeah, Bills win by a touchdown. They easily cover that 3.5 point. I think it's closer, and maybe the Rams win if Matthew Stafford finds some magic in this game and can somehow survive being in a constant onslaught from pass rushers. But yeah, the Rams offensive line is really bad in my opinion, and I don't think they Matthew Stafford will be able to overcome it unless he plays like a near perfect game. So that's kind of my final thoughts on that one. I got 8 minutes left, so I'm going to go quickly through these last two. And that's not biased because the Dolphins had to suffer under Brady's, and now I don't. Yeah, yep, yeah. Brady was our daddy for a while, and now Josh Allen is our daddy, and it makes me sad. We got the Bears at the 49ers. Both of these teams are not very good. The 49ers probably win, but I don't know. Maybe, I'm picking the Bears. The Bears are going to win this game. They're going to get a just fired their head coach bump that all of their players hated and didn't want around. So I'm I'm taking the Bears. Bears are going to win this game. I don't know how. I don't know why, but I think they do. Um, Honestly, the Bears' defense isn't that bad, and I know Eberflus was in charge of the defense, so like maybe that changes without him. Whereas last season performing well against Bears, now it's just. Yeah, I agree. Caleb Williams will be balling. Um, and yeah, the Bears fired their offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, and then their passing game coordinator, whose name I cannot remember to save my life. He was made the interim offensive coordinator, and then they fired Eberflus, and that same guy is now the head coach. So it went from like passing game coordinator to like all the way up to head coach in the span of like 5 weeks or something like that. Um, so clearly, like I don't know, it seems like Caleb Williams likes him. Like the Bears' offense and Caleb Williams has been playing better with him since he became the offensive coordinator. And I don't know, the 49ers, they're just so injured. Like holy crap, like they're injured to all hell on both sides of the football. Um, and yeah, I think don't let the Bears get too good. I don't think the Bears will ever get that good. Don't worry. Um, but I do think they're better under their interim head coach. I think probably the Bengals job opens up and Ben Johnson goes there instead of Chicago. That might actually happen, which would be crazy. Um, but no, I think the Bears get the interim head coach bump with that guy being their new head coach and Eberflus being gone. It just really seemed like the Bears players hated Matt Eberflus, which like I could see that. It doesn't really surprise me at all, but I don't know. I think they beat the 49ers. This is my upset of the day. Chicago +3. I think that's probably likely gonna happen. All right, and then we got 5 minutes left, so that's perfect. We're gonna talk about the Sunday night game real quick. The Chargers are +4. The Chiefs are 4-point favorites. Chiefs are the luckiest 11-1 team ever. the Chargers defense is really good and their offense is really bad. Not to wish harm on Purdy, but can he please not play against the Dolphins? He still has their number. Yeah, if he just like just give him like a little sprained ankle or something like that he gets over in a week, I think that'd be fine. Um, but yeah, the Chiefs are going to beat the Chargers. They're going to cover 4 points. It's say what you will about the Chiefs, but they have the Chargers number. Andy Reid going back to San Francisco, like Jim Harbaugh's San Francisco days, like he's always had Jim Harbaugh's number when they played. And if Ladd McConkey doesn't play, I don't see how the Chargers move the ball. Like Quentin Johnson has not been playing well. Justin Herbert doesn't really have anybody to throw the ball to. Chargers lose the game by 2 touchdowns, a field goal. I could see that happening pretty easy. I could see this being like the Chiefs turn it on game and they just kick the crap out of the Chargers. And it's in Arrowhead. Yeah, the Chiefs win easily, 4 points. And yeah, if Ladd McConkey plays, like I don't see how the Chargers score more than 10 points. Like it just, unless they get like scooping scores and pick sixes on defense, but like I don't think that's going to happen. And then last, we have the Monday night game, which is the Cincinnati Bengals against the Dallas Cowboys. This is the terrible defense game. Honestly, with Cooper Rush in there, the Cowboys' offense hasn't been that bad, especially giving the ball to Rico Dowdle. But the Cowboys' defense is still really bad. The Bengals' defense is like historically bad. Like, holy crap. Joe Burrow is incredible. I see the Cowboys win this by a late field goal. I could see that happening. I'm probably going to go with the Bengals to win. Just because like I don't think Cooper Rush can outscore Joe Burrow. But like if you told me the Cowboys win, I wouldn't be at all shocked by any means. But yeah, the Bengals are probably going to score like 45, 52 points or something crazy like that. And like the Cowboys are probably going to score like 45 with like a backup quarterback. Yeah, I feel really bad for everybody on that Bengals offense because, like, the Bengals offense is, like, Super Bowl worthy. Like, this is, like, Drew Brees Saints territory, like, outside of their Super Bowl year where it's just, like, their offense put up, like, crazy points every single week. And then, like, their defense just, like, gave up crazy points every single week. Dak should go to Carolina. I don't think Dak's going to Carolina, man. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I could be wrong, but I would be shocked if Dak ever left the Cowboys. Yeah, Bengals are on a 3-game losing streak. Didn't Aaron Rodgers, Packers do the same for most? Yeah, no, literally. Like Drew Brees on the Saints, great offense, bad defense. 1 year they had an elite defense with Drew Brees in 2009, and they won the Super Bowl. Same deal. Aaron Rodgers, great offense, bad defense. 1 year they had an elite defense in 2010, and the Packers won the Super Bowl. Like, they're pretty much the same thing for both of them. Kindly trash Dak. Steelers defense is just so bad. Yeah. Yeah, the Bengals, like, the Bengals offense is incredible. Like Joe Burrow is having one of the best years of like any quarterback ever. Like dude's playing lights out good, especially with throwing the ball to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Like yeah, and people on the internet always say like Joe Burrow gets carried by his receivers. Like the dude makes incredible plays in the pocket and like he like steps up and like it reminds me of like prime Tom Brady watching Joe Burrow like maneuver through the pocket. He just does like these little subtle things that are just so incredible and just rips the ball downfield. So I think the Bengals score like 52 points. I think the Cowboys probably score like 45 and the Bengals win by a touchdown. So that's probably what's going to happen in my opinion, just because. Yeah, I think they're going to pay Jamar Chase. I don't think they pay both him and T. Higgins. So that, yeah, I agree with you. That's going to be tough. All right. That is the Sunday slate, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Shoot me any final questions if you got them. And I'll take this time to answer those real quick. And then let me copy and paste this for you. If you want to join the Discord, Good show. Thank you. Bye, Finn. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your day, too. If you want to join the Discord, we got some other people in there. We got about 5 people who are talking and playing or talking and interacting with each other. It's a good group. We have fun. So if you want to interact with me more, got a playoff picture yet? Let me see. So I think the Bills get the 1 seed. I think Kansas City. Do you predict Jonnu Smith getting a touchdown? Yeah, I would 100% bet on Jonnu Smith getting a touchdown. Like they put all their attention on Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and Jonnu has been a really good tight end, and Tua loves him. So yeah, I would bet on Jonnu Smith getting a touchdown. All right, playoff picture. I think the Bills get the 1 seed. I think Kansas City drops like another game before the end of the season. I don't think Buffalo, outside of the Lions, drops a game, and I could see Buffalo beating the Lions. So I think the Bills get the 1 seed. Chiefs get the 2 seed. Yeah, Steelers probably win the division unless things break down. Texans win the AFC South, but they're going to get the 4 seed. Like I don't think the Texans are that good. I'm going to go with Broncos in the 5th seed, Ravens in the 6th seed, Chargers in the 7th seed. The Broncos are like an improvingly getting better team, and I don't think the Chargers are good, but they're not that good. So I don't think these playoff teams change. I think maybe somehow, some way, if one of these 3 teams like collapse, the Dolphins sneak into the playoffs, but like that's hopeful fan thinking. I don't have that much about it. And then NFC, I think the Lions get the 1 seed. I think the Eagles get the 2 seed. Seahawks get the 3 seed. Bucks get the 4 seed in the NFC South. I think Vikings, Packers is 5 and 6 makes sense. And yeah, Commanders probably end up getting the last playoff spot. I think it kind of looks like this right now, but just flip-flop the Buccaneers and the Falcons. So that's kind of my playoff picture. And the good question. Thank you guys. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to end the stream there, and I will see you all later. Enjoy your Sundays. I love you guys. You all rule. And thanks for joining and watching like you always do. See you next time.